Folks, I need you to listen closely today because what I'm about to say isn't political theater. It isn't partisan noise. It isn't another headline churned out to fill time. This is a moment of national clarity. I rolled out of bed this morning, cup of coffee in hand, flipped through the news, and for a split second, I genuinely wondered if we had learned anything from history at all. I wondered whether the lessons paid for in blood, sacrifice, and centuries of struggle had just evaporated into the air like nothing. Because what I read wasn't just alarming, it was a moral earthquake. The talk in Washington and foreign capitals and security briefings across the world is about a so-called peace plan being pushed toward Ukraine. But let's stop right there, because calling this thing a peace plan is like calling a ransom note a birthday card. It's not peace, it's coerced surrender dressed up in patriotic language and political marketing. It's a blueprint for abandoning a democratic ally in its darkest hour and pretending that betrayal is diplomacy. This proposal, reported, leaked, whispered about, confirmed, demands that Ukraine hand over territory, the very land where people lived, worked, loved, raised families, buried their ancestors. It demands Ukraine shrink its military capacity, voluntarily weaken itself, and promise never to join NATO. And for what? So one man, Donald Trump, can stand in front of cameras and declare victory. So he can write a sentence in a memoir about ending the war, even if the war doesn't actually end, even if the suffering continues, even if Russia comes back stronger and hungrier 6 months later. And the deadline? Thanksgiving. As if democracy, sovereignty, and human lives operate on an American holiday calendar. President Volodymyr Zelensky responded with the courage and clarity we've come to expect from him. He didn't mince words. He didn't sugarcoat anything. He spoke like a man who understands exactly what is at stake. He said Ukraine now faces one of the most difficult moments in its history, forced to choose between dignity, identity, national survival, and losing its most important ally, the United States of America. Pause and let that sink in, because that sentence alone should stop every American in their tracks. Imagine being told your freedom depends on giving up your freedom, that your survival depends on surrendering the tools you need to survive, that your dignity is negotiable so that someone else thousands of miles away can claim a political win. That's not foreign policy, that's extortion. And if this plan goes forward, let's make something crystal clear. It will not bring an end to Russian aggression. It will normalize it. It will reward it. It will encourage it. Vladimir Putin will not take this deal, smile politely, and go home. No. He will take the land, take the concessions, take the military restrictions, and wait months, maybe a year, until Ukraine is weakened enough to finish the job. Because that's what bullies do. That's what authoritarian imperialists do. That's what Putin has always done. And we know this. Not because of guesswork, not because of speculation, not because of political spin, but because history already told us what happens when the world tries to appease a dictator who believes land is his birthright. Let's rewind to 1994. The Budapest Memorandum. Ukraine possessed nuclear weapons, thousands of them inherited from the Soviet Union. They could have kept them. They could have become a nuclear superpower overnight. But instead, Ukraine made a choice for peace, for the global good. They gave them up in exchange for ironclad security assurances from the United States, the United Kingdom, and Russia itself. We promised to respect their borders. We promised to defend their sovereignty. We promised not to threaten or use force against them. 20 years later, Russia shredded that agreement like a parking ticket. Crimea was invaded. Crimea was annexed. The Donbass was flooded with Russian forces masquerading as local separatists. Civilians died, soldiers died, families were displaced, democracy was attacked, and international law was mocked. And what did the world do? It negotiated the Minsk agreements, Minsk I and Minsk II, complicated, fragile, poorly enforced deals that were supposed to stop the bloodshed, but they didn't. Russia violated those agreements repeatedly because they were never meant to create peace. They were meant to stall, regroup, and prepare for the next offensive. So when people today say just sign a deal, I want to ask them, compromise with what? With who? With a country that has broken every agreement it ever signed with Ukraine? With a leader who believes Ukraine has no right to exist? That is not compromise. That is capitulation. And this new proposal, crafted behind closed doors, drafted with Russian input, delivered with a ticking countdown clock, is nothing more than Minsk 3.0, but worse, because now it comes with U.S. pressure attached. Now it comes with the threat of cutting off aid. Now it comes with the suggestion that America might walk away entirely. And what does that tell every ally watching us? every democracy looking toward the United States for support. It tells them our word is conditional, our loyalty is transactional, our principles are negotiable. Think about NATO, one of the most successful alliances in the history of the world. It prevented World War III, it protected Europe, it helped maintain global stability, and the central principle, Article 5 says if one member is attacked, all stand together. Barring Ukraine from ever joining NATO doesn't create peace. It removes deterrence. It signals to Putin that Ukraine will always be alone, always vulnerable, always within reach. That's not peace. That's pre-war. And let's follow the consequences even further, because they don't stop in Europe. If Russia succeeds, if the world shrugs, if America steps back and says, not our problem, China will notice, Iran will notice, North Korea will notice, every authoritarian regime will notice. Global stability doesn't fall apart all at once. It cracks slowly, one abandoned ally at a time. Now let's talk economics, because whether you live in New York, Nebraska, or New Mexico, this affects you. Ukraine is a massive agricultural exporter. Russia is a dominant energy supplier. When war disrupts those markets, food prices rise, gas prices rise, inflation rises. The global economy shudders. And who pays the bill? American workers, American families, American consumers. So when someone tells you America has nothing to gain from supporting Ukraine, remind them we already pay the price when Russia destabilizes the world. And let's address the elephant in the room, Donald Trump's role in all of this. The reporting says this 28-point plan was drafted not with America's allies, not with NATO, not with Ukraine's elected leadership, but in collaboration with a Russian official. That should set off alarms so loud they shake the foundation of the Capitol dome, because it suggests this isn't about peace, it's about fulfilling a Russian wish list. Trump has praised Putin repeatedly. He has belittled NATO. He has threatened to pull the United States out of it. He has attacked allies and embraced autocrats. So why are we shocked that his plan benefits Russia more than Ukraine? A peace agreement written by the aggressor is not a peace agreement, it is a surrender document. And what message are we sending to Ukraine, a country that believed in us enough to give up nuclear weapons, that fought alongside us in Iraq, that trusted us when we promised partnership, protection, and support? If America forces Ukraine to accept this deal, then we are telling the world never trust us again. This is not just a policy disagreement. This is a test of national character, because America is not merely a country, it is an idea, and the idea is simple. Freedom belongs to everyone. Sovereignty belongs to every nation. Bullies don't get to redraw borders with tanks and missiles. If we walk away now, if we force Ukraine into a corner, if we let Vladimir Putin claim victory through coercion, we will be remembered not as defenders of democracy, but as accessories to its demise. And I refuse that. I reject that. I will not be quiet about that. Supporting Ukraine is not charity, it is strategy. It protects Europe. It stabilizes the world. It strengthens NATO. It keeps American troops out of future wars. It defends the international order we helped build after World War II, because we swore we would never again allow territorial conquest to go unchallenged. So let me say this plainly. A peace built on humiliation is not peace. A peace built on surrender is not peace. A peace built on Russian terms is not peace. It is a fuse waiting to be lit. Ukraine is not asking for American soldiers. They are not asking us to fight their war. They are asking for weapons, ammunition, diplomatic backing, and the chance to survive as a free nation. And if the United States of America, leader of the free world, cannot stand up for that, then what exactly do we stand for? This moment will be remembered. Our grandchildren will study it. They will ask whether America rose to the occasion or shrank from responsibility, whether we defended democracy or retreated into selfishness, whether we chose courage or convenience, and I pray truly that we choose correctly. Because Ukraine's fight is not just Ukraine's fight, it is the world's fight. It is democracy's fight. It is America's fight. So if you believe in freedom, if you believe in alliances, if you believe America keeps its word, if you believe dictators cannot be rewarded, then speak out. Share this. Stay informed. Demand accountability. Demand leadership. Demand moral clarity. Because silence right now is not neutrality. Silence is permission. And permission is exactly what Vladimir Putin wants. The stakes could not be higher, folks. We are living through history. Let's not become the generation that let democracy slip away while we were scrolling through headlines. Choose dignity, choose courage, choose Ukraine, choose the future.